You ain't listening to the Underwater FlyZone Podcast, bro. What you doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Underwater FlyZone Podcast. This is episode 4 of season 5, the mental health podcast season. And oh my goodness, I saw this application come in. If you guys know, I made a little application process to get on season 5 of the Underwater FlyZone, just so I know these guests are really ready to come in and kill it. And I saw this one come in, y'all. And I got so excited because we got a very special person on the podcast today. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
My name's Lauren Downey.
Lauren Downey in the building. Yeah, let's go. You already know. So Lauren Downey is Kyle, my best friend that I talked about in episode 1 and that I talk about a lot. This is his stepsister. So yeah, and what is today? You want to tell the people what today is?
Today is Kyle's birthday, 21st.
21. Let's go.
Of age.
Yes, that is insane. And it's crazy. I dropped episode 1 today, and then we're recording this episode today as well. Yeah. And it's just a crazy day. It's been this is the 6th birthday without him, isn't it?
Crazy. It doesn't feel like that long.
No, it really doesn't. And then
Time
we're coming
flies.
up on 7 years in just a couple weeks too. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into talking about Lauren's story because here's the thing, like, I feel like when Kyle died, I kind of made it my goal to tribute him and make these videos and do these, just like that one event we did that one time.
The 18?
Yes, yeah. And those things were so cool, but I always included Conlon. I would include all these other people because you were always you're a lot younger than us, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if Lauren would want to do anything like this.
No, I'm down for anything.
Yeah, so when I saw that application come in, I was like, let's go, bro. Get her included. And I'm excited to hear your story, for real.
I'm excited.
So I was honestly wanting to start this off just by hearing your story. You could kind of let the people know who you are, and I'd also like to hear like the story of how you found out about Kyle passing away and all, you know, the hard things that we've been through, and we'll lead into more after that. So.
Okay. So, well, you want me to talk about the day?
If you want.
Okay.
That's how you want to start this?
Well, I have wrote like essays about this.
Really?
Yes, I remember this day so clearly. I was actually map testing this week because I was in like 6th grade. I was really young, but I was supposed to be map testing, and it was on a Monday, I think, a Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
And my dad, I woke up out of my slumber, and my dad called me like 3 times, and he texted me a couple times, and he's like, I need to come pick you up. I was like, what? Like, I have a map test today. My mom was like, no, like, he's not coming to pick you up. That's no.
Yeah.
And then he came to my house, and he knocked on the door, and me and Colin were like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And like, we didn't think anything bad or anything. We were just like so confused. And then we walked out the door. This is like the craziest thing. I've never seen my dad cry a day in my life. Ever, like, not one day in my life have I ever seen him cry. He's like the toughest guy I know.
Yeah.
Never, not a tear. And he's standing like right outside the door, and he just has like tears coming down his face, and me and Colin were like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And he like couldn't say it for a little bit. And then he told us, and like you said, I watched your episode today.
Yeah, there we go.
But like you said, you were like, you didn't want it to be real.
Yeah.
I didn't take any of it in until probably like a week later, honestly. I didn't take any of it in. And so like I didn't cry at first because I was like, no way. This is a joke. This is a joke. And so my dad and Colin them were like crying. And then they were like, we're going to take you back to the house, and like the Raintree house.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay. And so we had to go inside and tell everybody. That was the worst part. We had to tell everybody what happened. And like everybody was like, we had like 10 kids in the house. And so everyone like stopped in their tracks whenever they heard us, and we just walked out the door. We dropped the bomb, walked out the door, and then we went over to our house, and then every single family member was at that house at the time, from Iowa, everywhere. Was all at the house, and like none of us really spoke a word. We were all just like staring at the ground, like silence. And then somebody was like, I bet he's just gonna walk around the corner and just start laughing his little laugh that he has, saying it was a joke. But yeah, That's how I remember that day. Very sad. It was just weird seeing my dad cry. I've never seen him cry before.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing.
And then the rest of that week, I don't know about you, but for me, it felt like an absolute movie.
Yes, no, none of it felt real. I went to school the next day.
Me too.
Yes,
Me too.
I went to school the next day because I was like, it's not real. I took my math test. I was like, no way. People were hugging me. I was like, don't make me cry. Like, just don't make it real. Just like, let it just like flow by. And I don't remember the rest of that week, honestly. I remember that day, but nothing else after that.
So Kyle was in 8th grade. That makes you were in intermediate school. So you weren't in the same school. Did everybody kind of know what was going on, or did some people have no clue?
Some people didn't know at first as instantly as like the Conlin and Kyle's school knew, but eventually everyone knew, and like people like asked me about it, but I think less people knew my grade than obviously everyone else.
Yeah. That's how it was for me because I was in high school.
Yeah.
So I remember I went to school the next day, and I'm not even kidding, the first class I was in, someone was on their Snapchat. They were sitting next to me, and it was actually someone she was pretty cool. She actually kind of helped me get through Spanish class. So shout out to that chick. But she was looking at this story, and she was like, she said to the girl next to her, who even is this kid? Why is everybody posting this? And I'm sitting there like, and the girl she was saying that to knew me and knew that I was friends, and she was just like, I saw her like saying cut it out, and oh man, I'll never forget. It was like, dude, I've been here for 20 minutes and this is already getting brought up.
Well, same thing actually. The next day I went and I took my math test. Before I took my math test, there was this kid. His name was Cooper, and he was like sitting on this across the room, and he was like, "Did you hear about that kid that killed himself?" And I looked at him and like with my eyes like this, and another girl was like same thing, like no. Yeah. I start bawling out in class. So embarrassing. I start bawling because that was like the first time I cried about it. And I went to the bathroom, and a girl was laughing at me for crying. Yeah. Dude. But then later that day, she apologized to me, and she was like, I'm sorry, I just laugh in situations like that. And I was like, yeah. Honestly, that's fine, but I was not prepared for you to laugh at me while I was crying and bawling my eyes out. But
6th grade. I mean, when you're in 6th grade, you don't know how to handle stuff like that. So.
It doesn't sound that old, but it all felt, I don't know, felt crazy. Yeah. Definitely like a maturing moment. For how young I was. I was like 12 years old, I think.
I honestly, you said you remembered everything about the day. I was telling my parents were telling me, they were like, we watched your episode. You got some things wrong in that story. I was like, wait, really?
Like what?
Like there were a couple, I didn't, so you know how I said in the episode, I went up to my friend Jackson's and played basketball like right away? It wasn't right away. It was like 3 hours past. People were coming over talking to, I don't remember any of this. Like it's kind of weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, so and the whole week to follow, I really like, it felt like such a daze.
Yes, nothing felt real. No. I honestly didn't like accept it. This is so like crazy, but I didn't accept the fact that it was like real until probably a couple years later. Because like, I mean, yeah, like, you know, it's real, you know, they're not coming back, but it doesn't really like fully set in. No. It did for me until years later.
It did, for sure. I don't think it really sat in for me until Lance, when Lance, another kid in our community, we had his cousin on the last episode, when he passed away and I started giving advice to Morgan, his cousin. I was like, oh my goodness, I really went through this. This really happened.
Yes, exactly.
It took a long time to accept, and acceptance was so incredibly hard because that's when you realize like, I can't pretend this is a dream. And that's when all the emotions came in. And I just, what are some things that you've learned throughout the journey that we've both been on, having to go through this and grow from it? Because I went through this as a 16-year-old until now. You went through it as a 6th grader until now. So like, what? I'm interested to hear what you've learned through this.
I would say I'm kind of glad. Not that I'm glad it happened, but I'm glad that it happened whenever I was like younger, because at the time I was kind of, I don't know, the person I was then was just like a different person than I am now. I was not that I was like mean or anything, but I was kind of like trying to fit in with everybody. And so like I was kind of mean. But after that, I heard that from, through the grapevine, that Kyle was being bullied, and that he he had people being mean to him, and literally like a flip switched in my brain. Ever since I heard that, I was with Lauren actually whenever I heard that, and ever since I heard that, I have been nothing but like nice to people. Anywhere I go, it's my like goal to only be nice to people. I never have bad blood with anybody. I don't hold anything against anybody. I always just try to be super nice, even to people that are mean to me. Like, I don't know. That's just what I've learned, to just be kind to everyone. Because I don't ever want anyone to ever feel... I don't want anyone to ever feel how he did from me. Like, if anyone came up to me and was like, I feel like you're a terrible person, I'd be like, are you seriously? Are you kidding? Mm-hmm. Like, how do I fix that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I never ever want anyone to think that way of me.
Because we have no clue what people are going through, and one little mean comment could be all it takes to push somebody over the edge. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's great. That I think I've kind of taken the same thing away, is just spread love to everybody. It's the whole meaning of the podcast. You don't know what people are going through under the surface, so like it's just so important to spread love to literally everybody. You could save lives. You could save families from losing someone they love and going through what we've been through, and yeah, that's a great takeaway. One that I've been thinking about today for myself is, and recently I've been thinking about a huge takeaway that I'm starting to realize now. I didn't realize it at the time, but like 6-7 years removed from the situation, I'm starting to realize that we have to be accepting that we're here on earth. Bad things are going to happen. I used to think that this wasn't supposed to happen. I don't think Kyle dying was supposed to happen, but bad things in general are supposed to happen. You know, I was like, man, I wasn't supposed to go through something this horrible. And like I said, I don't think this situation specifically was supposed to happen, but bad things in life are going to happen, and having to accept that and realize, like, no, this is just part of the human experience. I have to realize that every day is not going to be a great day. You know, every day things are going to happen that's out of your control. And that's been such a huge lesson for me, is just understanding that, like, bro, here on earth, we're going to go through some hard things.
Yeah,
but it's how you respond. Exactly.
That's how we grow as people. I think his death was definitely not meant to happen, obviously. But it did. I think every person that was close to him, they grew as people in good ways, I would say. Every single person I've ever met that, like, was in contact with him or knew him, I feel like they're all pretty good people. And
it's just crazy how this situation feels so... There's so much emptiness, so much heartbreak. It almost feels like a grave, you know? But guess what God does? He turns graves into gardens, baby. You already know.
Yes.
And actually, y'all don't know this, Lauren has been coming to church with me and Macy for about 6-7...
August?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And she comes with Conlon, her brother. And I'm so grateful you guys are coming. And it's just such a great time on Tuesday nights.
Yes.
So talk to me about that process, because I don't know. Just you weren't, like, it was just me and Macy, and then next you know, Conlon and Lauren are coming every week. So talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, me and my ex, we started going to Abundant Life. I think like literally June, July. Yeah. Because I don't know how. I honestly cannot tell you how that started in any way, shape, or form. But we kind of just wanted to build a closer relationship with God. Yeah. And also, like, I didn't really have any friends at the time, so I kind of just like wanted. I've always like believed in God. I just never had a relationship with Him ever. And but I kind of just wanted, I don't know, something to fall back on, or not like that, but I don't know. I just want a relationship with Jesus. Yeah. And then one day I was like, I want to get more into it, because after we started going to church, Pastor Phil, I was like, speaking to me, and then
Phil, baby.
One time Chad was on the screen. I was like, this is my stuff. Like, this is the place I want to go. And so I was going through like their Instagram, I was going through their stuff, and I found Paradigm, and I was like, what's this about? And then so I asked Colin, I was like, can you please come with me to this? Like, I really want to go. I think it'd be fun. He goes, yeah, Foster goes to that. Like, perfect. Yeah. And then after that, history. I love Abundant Life. I love Tuesdays.
Best night of the week, for real.
Yes, no, it is. I love it. It's made me learn so much about Jesus. It's just, I don't know. It's just so good. It's like the perfect place. Like, if you want to get more knowledge, they'll have it.
Yeah, literally. And it's perfect for people our age, too. Yeah. And I feel like, for me, I remember, I mean, it was years. It was 4 years later, and I was still depressed from the Kyle, like, this whole situation we've been through. Yeah. And it wasn't really until I found Jesus that I've been freed from that depression. Like, it's crazy whenever, honestly, Macy's behind the camera, my fiance, shout out to Macy, because being with her, she really showed me that God is so much more than just a religion. You know, God, you can literally have a personal relationship with Him. And whenever I realized that God loves me, He says I'm beautifully, wonderfully made in His image. He loves us the way He loves us, regardless of the horrible things that have happened, and the purpose that He's given me through the pain I've been through as well. Like, it just changed my life completely. And that's a message to anybody listening. Like, I'm telling you right now, I know there's so many different opinions. There's people that have been hurt by church, people that just have such a closed mind to God. But I'm telling you right now, God freed me from all depression. I have not felt depressed the way I did, for 4 years in a row since I found God.
I haven't either.
Is that not crazy?
I used to have I think I would say a year ago today, I had seasonal depression. Whenever it would get cold in winter, I would get down, rock bottom, the worst I've ever felt in my life. But since August or June, July, I would say, I haven't felt any anger, depression, or animosity at all. I don't know. I just let God do it.
That's a testimony right there to anybody that doesn't believe. It's there's some things you can't deny. You can't deny the life change I've experienced, or that you've experienced, or that millions of people for generations have experienced.
Yes, and it sounds so cheesy, but it's true. I don't care what anyone says. Whenever you personally feel it, you're like, why did I never believe this?
Yeah.
Why did I never ever listen to anyone? Mm-hmm. It feels so good.
That's been such a huge life change.
Yes.
For sure. There's so many different ways we could take this, but I'm gonna go back to the application. Everybody, let's check this out. I asked some pretty decent questions on here. Oh wait, this is not even yours.
I don't even remember what I said.
Hold on, let's see.
I think I talked about relationships.
Yes. Okay, that was on there a lot. Let's go to one question. I said, what are 3 main points that you would want to focus on when talking about mental health? The first one you said, honestly, I'd love to talk about anything mental health related, but if I had to choose 3, number 1 was relationships and inner circle, but more so how to choose people wisely in your life. So why'd you put that on there? Well, let's hear some.
Well, I will say, I've had people in my life that, I don't know, treated me bad at the time. Not that I hold that towards them at all, because people change all the time. But during high school, I definitely had a rough time with friendships, and so I don't know. I feel like God put me here to make people happy and to be nice to people, as I was saying. And I feel like sometimes I can be too nice to people that don't really deserve that niceness from me. And so I feel like that's I feel like I've definitely been through the most with relationships, because people kind of take advantage of who I am as a person instead of using it to their advantage, to make them a better person, or to have me in their life. Not that I'm such a prize, but I just feel like I am just, I don't know, I'm just meant to be nice to people, and people just, I don't know. People just take that for granted all the time.
I 100% understand what you're saying right now, because it's you have a heart for loving, you have a heart for being there for people and serving people as well. And we live in a broken world, like we talked about earlier, and people love to take people like that and use them for their advantage. Maybe not even intentionally. Yeah. Maybe subconsciously. They don't even realize it. Yeah. And I've experienced that so many times. I feel like part of the reason I was president of my fraternity was because they were like, this job sucks.
Yeah,
and it did.
Give it to him.
Yeah, they're like,
Take
Foster won't say no.
Yeah.
Foster will do it.
Yeah.
Let's talk him into doing it. And I'm actually so glad I did do that, because it grew me so much. But I think that was part of the intention behind so many people encouraging me to take that role, is because we don't want to do this, but he can do it. You know what I'm saying? So no, I completely relate, and it's hard to not turn bitter, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard to not just be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm cold-hearted now, all this stuff. No, it's so hard to battle that, but that goes back to having faith in God. If we're only here on earth one time, I'm going to give it my all, so that someday in heaven I can be like, God, they were using me, but I stayed faithful to you. Literally.
Yes. So, sometimes I would think I'm going to be mean today. I could never do it. I don't know why. I just, I do have a lot of love for people in my heart, no matter what. And so I always just, I could never go through with it. I could never be I'm going to be mean today.
Yeah.
I could never do it. I just feel like I don't know, I just always wanted to be Lauren. So I've always wanted people to remember me for being nice and funny and whatever.
Exactly.
I never want people to look back on the time they shared with me and being I would never hang out with her again.
And I'm definitely not saying I'm perfect by any means.
No,
There's been so many, even just recently thinking back to my old self, when you find God and you start walking down a godly path, you look back at your past and you're like, I'm so dumb for
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And I've been looking back at stuff like that, and I'm just like, gosh, these people probably see me doing this positivity podcast and think he's capping.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I think that what's helped us both stay true to staying loving and staying serving people is remembering what we've been through. You know.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, that's why I say it's not a blessing, but God used it for his glory. God used this situation that, you know, the devil got in Kyle's head. He deceived him, and there was so much brokenness there, and the devil was ready to take you, me, and everybody involved and ruin our lives with it.
Yep.
You know, because a lot of people, when they feel pain, they try to, you know, get rid of their pain through alcohol, drugs, through being a bitter person, through, you know, eating, or just so many bad things. I feel like God used me, you, and so many other people in the circle to spread love and to remain, you know, good-hearted people that want to make an impact.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's why you're on this podcast. You would have had no reason to submit this application, you know what I'm saying? But you have that heart of, I want to change lives. We know what we've been through. And I feel like just all of our goal to not have anybody else go through the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
I feel like it was also put there, though, too, so we could help people kind of going through the same thing.
Exactly.
Because I could talk about, like, suicide and mental health for forever. Like, if people ask me about it, like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that was it was definitely meant for us to, like, have conversations and be there for people that are kind of dealing with things that, you know, they don't usually talk to people about.
Yeah, for sure.
Hearing that, like, we have been through it, like, with someone very close to us, they're like, I can talk to them.
For
And
sure.
I like that. I like that
No, that's
people
great.
can feel that way.
All right, let's go to number 2. We said first one was relationships and inner circles. We could go back more into that later, but I want to at least get through all 3 of these at some point. How to choose yourself even in hard times.
I wrote that?
Yeah, you did. How to choose yourself even in hard times. Hey, wait a second. I think I could even relate to this one too. I feel like we're similar in a way.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
feel like so.
Probably all of us that went through this are pretty similar in a way. But okay, so how to choose yourself even in hard times. Why'd you put that?
Why did I put that? I would say, well, as we've been talking about, I feel like whenever you're in situations that you definitely, like, don't realize, like, you don't know if you want to be in, or you don't, if, like, I don't know what I'm saying.
No,
But,
I get you. I feel you.
I feel like knowing who you are and standing on, like, your morals and your ground, you kind of just know, like, when to leave things behind if they don't, like, serve you anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that, I don't know, I feel like that kind of goes with a lot of things, like relationships, like breakups and stuff. Like, if you feel like this person is not, these people around you are just not for you anymore, sometimes it's hard to choose yourself because, like, you don't want to be lonely or whatever, but I feel like that's also, like, why I have Jesus, because I never really feel alone, really.
Exactly.
And so choosing yourself, even if you're going to be lonely or if it's going to cause, like, rifts within people, I feel like just knowing who you are and knowing your values, that's all that really matters.
For sure.
Jesus watches it all, so.
Exactly. And letting go of people that are bad for you is such a high form of self-love.
Yes,
for real.
yes.
Because so many of us, I mean, I know I've been there at times in my life. I've hung on to a friend group because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to feel like, oh man, I can't let go of these people because then I'll have nobody. It'll just be me. But that's such a, you know, hard thing to do. But like you said, in hard times, that's a hard time right there. Being around people that are not good for you and taking that step is tough, but it's such a form of self-love, and it's so important too. And I feel like I've been thinking about this with my students lately because, you know, I teach elementary PE. These kids, I love them, and they're going to grow up and they're going to go to middle school and high school. And I was like, when they get in high school, I want to go watch their basketball games. I want to watch their football games, all this stuff. But then I was like, nah, by then they're going to be so different. They're going to have found their friend groups, all this stuff. And then I was like, why do we do that? Why do we let go of who we are as a kid? Because right now I see these kids as their purest, you know, they're a child. They don't care. They don't care about, you know, people's opinions or anything like that. They're just a kid at school, you know. But as we grow up, we feel the need to fit in, change who we are and act some certain way. Why do we do that, you know?
I don't know.
So tough.
Because that's exactly what I was going through in 6th grade. But then the whole Kyle thing, like, that completely changed my world around. I didn't even know you could have those, like, realizations so young. Like, after that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, I am not the person that I would want, like to look at myself in the future and be like, wow, I was a good person. I just wasn't that person, and I wanted to change that so fast.
I guess you were right what you said earlier. That happening so young, you got to live that from 6th grade on. I got that from sophomore year on, because before I just was like quiet at school, didn't really care.
Yeah.
Even after Kyle passed away, I was still like that for a little bit, but eventually I was like, dude, there are people in this school struggling right now, and I need to do my best to be the loving person that they need. You know?
I was the same way. I was always quiet until like a couple years after. I would say, now I'm a talker, but
hey, it's
I
good.
can talk to anyone. If anyone ever came up to me and was like, I'm going through this, be like, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Anybody watching that's going through anything, hit up Lauren Downey. You already know. Did you switch? Do you want to switch that camera real quick? Oh, you did? Goat. She's the best. Best around. All right. Let's go to the last thing you said here, which you had a really good application. You said you just kind of did it all quick.
Think?
It's better than most of them.
Thanks.
Hold on. Before we finish yours, let's go to my brother's real quick. I just have to read this.
Are you gonna have your brother on?
Yeah, he didn't have to even do it. He said, "It said, why do you want to be a guest on our mental health podcast season?" He said, "I'm trying to talk." That's it. Then I said, What does the saying "your life is worth living" mean to you? He said, "True." And then, he said, I don't want to. I can't read the rest of it. It was just.
True.
I appreciate your application. I'm just telling you that. So then the other thing you said, when 3 main points you want to focus on, and like you said, you could talk about anything. So we could get into anything a little bit, but how to gain a more positive, healthy mindset. How would you say gain a more positive, healthy mindset? I could help you out because I just got something when I read that.
No, you got it.
I was saying I feel like so often we take things for granted, and oh my goodness, if you listen to episode 3, that's me in that episode. But that's the mindset I've literally been in for the past couple months. Is I've been really complaining. They've been talking about this at Paradigm.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, and it's just like I've been in this complaining mindset, always thinking about the future. I focus so much on the future, and that's what our world forces us to do. The world can't talk. The world forces us to think so much about the future that we forget to enjoy all the blessings that we're experiencing right now.
Yes.
Like, I'm thinking about, gosh, I can't wait to move out. I was just saying this before the podcast started. Oh, I can't wait to move out, get out of this storage room, but I think so much about the future, I forget to realize, like, bro, I am blessed. Things I'm going through right now, I am blessed. There's so many people in the world that would give anything to be living the life that I'm living. And it's just getting back to the state of gratitude. Even on a drive home from Kansas City, when I got all this merch in my car, this happened the other day, sitting in traffic, just not moving at all. But I look around, I'm like, oh, I didn't ever realize that graffiti on that wall. I didn't ever realize this thing over here, this little Chiefs. If you're ever downtown Kansas City, there's like this Chiefs arrowhead on the side of the highway. Never saw it until I was in traffic.
I've never seen that.
But it's just like, I could be sitting here so annoyed that we're stopped in traffic and it sucks. Or I could realize I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to see this new group.
Yes.
Take in this moment because we are blessed regardless. If you're breathing, I was about to post this the other day, but I didn't. But if you're breathing, you're blessed.
Yes,
Straight
always.
up. Dude.
If you wake up, you're blessed.
Exactly. And oh my goodness, like, especially with things that some of my friends are going through, like one of my best friends is literally in the hospital for 100 days right now. And it's just like, man, I'm out here in the world complaining about what? Like, what am I even complaining about, bro? We are so blessed. And so a way to have a positive mindset is just enjoy every moment of life and realize that we're blessed and be grateful for the things you have. And one more thing I want to say is we got to appreciate the things we have too.
Yes.
I wish I could go back and have appreciated Kyle more. Because at the time, I wasn't ever thinking that he would not be here today. I thought 21st birthday, we should be getting turned up right now.
I took all that time for granted.
Literally. And then next thing you know, boom, one Monday morning, we get the news that he's gone, and it's just like, bruh. It's like, first of all, we went through the dream and the acceptance and all the stuff that comes with that. But it's also like, man, I wish I could go back to when he was here and really sat in those moments more. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm thinking so much about the future. I'm not even sitting in the moments I have right now. So I feel like as we've gotten away from, it's almost 7 years. As we've gotten away from that, I went through a period of like, for 4 years straight, it was like, okay, anything I went through, it didn't matter because nothing compared to losing Kyle.
Exactly.
But now that we're healed more, or at least for me, I'm healed more. It's like, bro, I'm letting little things affect me again.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get back to that mindset of like, no, I need to appreciate literally everything.
Everything, yes.
Everything.
Appreciate that we even have a positive mindset.
Exactly. Appreciate that we even have a mind to have a mindset.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
literally, bro. It's crazy. So I don't know. What are some things that you would say about how to gain a more positive, healthy mindset?
I would say the same thing. I would say just thinking about everything positively, like everything you're going through in that moment. In this moment, like, is everything that you could have prayed for. Like,
Yeah.
even a couple months ago, like, you're living in your blessings right now instead of like thinking about your blessings later. I feel like right now, even like if I feel like I'm going through something, I'm like, dang, I asked for this though. Like, I definitely asked to be where I am right now, and I'm taking it all for granted. I'm just taking it like whatever. And I'm thinking about everything else that I want instead of what I have right now.
What you just said hit so hard because literally I prayed for I was in college praying for the day when I'd be home, when I'd work at the school I work at.
Yes.
Like, what are the odds that job opened up and I got it?
Yes,
and
exactly.
it literally, God paved the way.
Yes.
I'm exactly where I am right now. When I was praying a year ago, I'm like, literally it all worked out perfectly, and here I am complaining about it. It's
exactly.
Oh my goodness, that hit.
I always have to remind myself, I always have to take a step back and be like, this is what I want. Like, this is what I need. Obviously, like, I'm in this season of my life for a reason, and God put me here for a reason. This is a blessing. I know I'll look back on this day and been like, I am so glad I went through everything I went through to be who I am today.
Exactly.
I love that.
No, that's amazing. That is amazing. All right, so let's go to question 1. Why do you want to be a guest on the mental health season? Here's what she said. Because I've personally dealt with mental health issues, and I've been around people who have... Oh, wait, we already talked about this.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
I feel like I repeated myself a little bit.
Yeah, what comes to mind when you... All right, so I'm just going to ask you. I'm not going to read your answer. When you hear our message behind the brand, your life is worth living, what comes to your mind? What does that message make you think of?
Every time I hear it, well, I love the message because every time I hear it, I'm like, it has so much meaning. Like, people can interpret it any way.
Yeah.
I just feel like your life is worth living is just, like, telling people that no matter what or anything, like, literally anything that's going on in your life, no matter who you are or where you're at, your life is always has a purpose.
Exactly.
And it's always worth living another day, breathing another day, because you have the blessing of doing that. So... Yeah. I just like the message a lot.
It's just so straightforward. It's like, you can't really think too hard about it. Yeah. It's like, your life is worth living. You either agree or disagree. And if you disagree, DM me. Like, straight up.
Seriously.
To me, it's a message of like, I wish back when Kyle was going through whatever he was going through, he would have just taken a few steps back to realize my life is still worth living. The things I'm going through are temporary.
Yes.
I'm going to get through this. I owe it to myself to get through the things I'm going through.
Exactly.
I feel like so often when we hit rock bottom in our life, I know for me, I've hit rock bottom, I feel like, in my life. And I had these horrible thoughts of like, I need to end it. Like, I need to go.
Yeah, like, I just want to give up.
Exactly. But that's when you got to realize, like, no, just because things feel broken right now, my life is still worth living. I owe it to myself to experience the good that comes out of this, because life comes in waves.
It does.
If you're on a low right now, it
only goes up.
Literally, be grateful you're on a low, because that means good things are coming your way.
Character development.
Exactly. But on the flip side of it, which is something I've experienced very recently, if you're feeling like you're on the top, really be grateful in that moment, because life comes in waves.
It does.
It will go down eventually.
Things
I remember
are so unexpected.
Exactly. I was on stage at the El Dorado show on Christmas, and what did I say? My life has never been so good right now. The next day, Connor goes to the hospital.
Yeah.
Bro.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's gonna be all right. Keep praying. Keep praying. All right. Yeah, he just shaved his head today because like the chemo's gonna make him lose all of his hair, so he just shaved it off. He looks like a stud though, bro. Hey, shout out Brad Poles if you're watching. Hold up.
Do I hear Brad Poles?
Yeah, you already know. But yeah, shout out Connor. But it's just crazy how that happens. It's like I literally was, and I thought back to it. I'm like, dang, I jinxed myself.
Exactly.
I was on stage. I say, my life has never been as good as it is right now.
Yes.
And then just so many things. This ungrateful mindset comes out of nowhere. Like I haven't felt like that in forever.
Yes. I don't say those things out loud anymore because I get so scared that it's gonna just hit me right back.
Do you feel like after Kyle passed away, you went through a season of not wanting to feel happy because you didn't want it to get shattered again?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Yes, actually, crazy thing, I have felt like that ever since up until I started going to church.
Really?
It's weird because, like, I feel like I'm always worried. Like, whenever I am at a high, I'm always like, it's gonna, like, something's gonna happen. I'm always prepared for something to happen. And I don't know, I feel like that's a bad mindset of mine, but I always have to tell myself, like, it's okay to go through things. But yeah, ever since then, I'm always, I don't know, scared of things that will happen just because that was a huge part of my life.
Dude, yes. That is exactly how I've felt so many times. It's like, anytime things are going good, I would get so worried. I'm like,
yes,
this is how I felt.
Too good.
Yeah, exactly. Because I
Yes.
remember the morning, and this sounds like just I'm trying to exaggerate to make a crazier
I
story.
get it.
Bro, the morning Kyle passed away, I had my head down in class. I just got my first girlfriend. We broke up, obviously. But we started dating like 2 weeks before, so I was on that, like, you know, when you
you're
first
like,
getting your first, I was like,
honeymoon.
and on this high, and then summer's coming up.
Yes.
It was like great weather outside,
yes.
dude. And the day before we were on the lake, and then the day before me and Kyle and Carson were hanging out. Bro, it was like life is peaking right now.
Yes.
And then literally just immediately to the bottom.
Yeah.
And anytime I felt that happiness again, I would get so worried, and I'd like try to downplay it. I'd be like, no,
Like,
I don't want to feel
it's not
this.
that good right now. Like,
Exactly. And another thing I went through is I didn't want to have a best friend. I really haven't had a best friend since until recently. My boy Alex, shout out Alex. I think Alex is that. Macy, you think so? I think Alex is my first actual legitimate best friend.
Yeah.
Like, I think if I asked him who's his best friend, he'd be like, yeah, it's Foster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, dude.
That's nice.
So thankfully, like 6 years later, I'm finally getting over that. But it was so long. I was like, I just want to be alone. I don't want to
Yeah.
get close to anybody.
Yeah. It
'Cause
feels like betrayal, honestly.
Yeah, and it just, oh man, I don't know. That's just some of the crazy things that we go through. What's something else? Let's try to think of something else crazy we went through. There was so much that happened.
Like, after the fact?
Yeah, like what are some of the horrible or just some of the things you've experienced after losing Kyle? I'm trying to think of some that I haven't talked about before.
I would say, well, a crazy thing I went through was, this is actually, like, how I learned to stop people pleasing and to stop being, like, obviously I'm, like, still a good person, but to stop being too good to people.
Yeah.
It's because my freshman year, sorry if this person's watching, my freshman year, like, I think towards the beginning, I started dating somebody that was, like, 2 years older than me. And they were just not, they were not a good person. They were scary and they were toxic. They're very, very scary for me. But, like, I was always, like, on edge in that relationship. And I've kind of just, like, I was too nice. Like, in arguments, I would never say anything. That was, like, for 2 years of my life. It was the scariest thing. All my family did not like this person. None
Really?
of my friends liked this person.
Were you blinded though? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was like my first real relationship.
Yeah.
And so everything, like, that was probably the biggest thing I went through after the fact. That was like 6th grade. That was like 3 years later. I don't know. And, but that was just like the biggest thing because I learned so much about myself and how I, like, am in relationships and how I need to stop being so nice because I feel like all the time I would be so scared because if I was to say anything, I feel like it would just come right back at me.
Yeah.
That was probably like the biggest thing I went through after the fact.
And it's just crazy because I know you were probably still trying to be that nice person because that's just how we are after experiencing something like that. You just like want to love everybody.
Exactly.
Just,
Someone could say like the meanest things to me and I'll somehow twist it in a way where I'm like, maybe like they're going through something.
Yes, dude, I swear that is so true.
Like I try to like downplay it so much and I feel like that's, I don't know. Honestly, it's a blessing and a curse to be like that. I just feel like someone could just say something so rude to me and I'll be like, you know what? Everyone's going through something. They might be projecting, whatever.
Yeah.
But as I know it's not personal.
Yeah, as long as you know who you are and you stay within yourself,
exactly.
like, yeah, I could see that. And, man, those are the people that need our love the most, though.
Yes.
Like, for real.
Exactly.
It's easy to love people that love you back, but it's really tough to love someone that's throwing hate your way.
Yeah.
But that's where you really got to challenge yourself and get tough and be like, no, I need to love this person
Those are the people I
regardless.
try the hardest on, too, though.
Exactly. That's like some of my students, I'm like, I
Yes.
know you're a bad kid, but
Yes.
I'm going to go harder for you
Yes,
than anybody.
exactly. I'm be even nicer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, speaking of that, today was crazy. I was telling about that before. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad we got a nice conversation in tonight because there was a point today where I was like red-faced, like, oh, my gosh. Like, I had to miss my lunch and call a parent today. Oh, that was not fun. But let's do one more real quick. It's a what I'm so weird. We expect vulnerability from all of our guests. It's so professional in our basement closet. Yeah, literally. The more we share, the more light we shine into the darkness. Briefly tell me your story. You were just saying how like since Kyle's death, I've seen life from a different perspective. We talked about that, but let's see. Is there something in here we haven't talked about through my? All right. So through your life, you feel like you've had high highs and low lows, but you've gotten through it by relating people. So, what are some of the high highs and the low lows?
It's a good question.
We've already talked about a lot, but is there anything we haven't brought up? We're 40 minutes in right now, so we could
It does not feel like that long.
Dude, that's what everybody. I'm telling you, these things fly by. But is there anything like? I mean, this is your episode, Lauren. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to get into?
I don't know.
You've been doing great, by the way. Lauren came in nervous, and I was like, dude,
I still
you're
kind
made
of am
for.
nervous.
You're made for this. Literally, we're gonna end this in a little bit, and you're gonna be like, I want to do another one.
Yeah, I'd be down to do it.
Next time, you and Macy though.
Yes, that'd be so fun.
Upcoming. Oh,
Upcoming.
She'll meet
Coming
Caitlin,
soon.
and we'll have like a girls yeah.
podcast.
No, that'd be
girls
fire.
take over.
No, literally, I've done that before, and it did really well.
That'd be fun.
That was our second ever viral clip. Was from that. Yeah, I remember Caitlin got like 100K. Anyways, is there anything that you still want to get into? And I have one more thing after this if you don't have anything else. But if there's anything else you want to get into,
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back at the
we'll
end, all
circle
right?
back.
Because we're bringing back something this season. And the thing we're bringing back is every guest has to give a challenge to the people that are watching. And I'll give you a minute to think about it. Okay, I'll give you a minute to think about it because, all right, as you think, I'll tell everybody something. If you leave a comment on this video, you're entered in a drawing to win a free t-shirt. All right, so at the end of the season, I'm going to take all the comments, everybody that left a comment on a video in season 5. And I'm going to, one comment equals one entry. I said this in the year straight that never really happened, but I'm for real this time. We're doing this season, and at the end of the season, taking one comment equals one raffle entry. So drop a comment, and you could get entered to win one of our free shirts. All right, so comment your thoughts, comment some encouragement. Tell Lauren how great of a job she did. Dude, she absolutely killed this. I knew you would, though. That's why I was like, dude, don't even be worried. This is going to be great.
Yeah, this is so fun.
But, all right, have you thought of a challenge, though?
Yes. Okay, this is my
let's get
challenge for anyone watching. To say I love you to all of your family members.
So
That's
why is
my
that
challenge.
why is that the challenge that came to mind?
Because you need to say you love them while they're still here instead of
Exactly.
regretting it whenever they're gone.
Yeah. Do you feel like that was something that you learned after Kyle passed away?
Absolutely. I never I will say this because it is so far in the past, and the person that I was though, like whenever me and him were so young, we fought like siblings.
Really?
Yes, like we fought, like imagine you're like actual siblings, like we fought. We would tell each other like, we'd be like, I hate you, and like walk away, and then like it'd be like whatever, like we would just like say whatever to each other. Like we had love for each other. We never said it. We never hugged really. I'm not a hugger though.
Yeah.
But I just never really said I love you, and I kind of just I feel bad because we fought like siblings, and the only things he would hear out of my life were like I don't like you, like kind of sassy, you know, 6th grader or whatever. And I just feel bad because I wish that he did know how much I loved him. Yeah. I was talking to him about that at his grave today. I was like, I love you. I just want you to know that.
And I need to go out there, dude. What time is it? April. I'll go out this weekend or something.
What time does it close?
It don't even close. I've been out there at like 1 a.m. before.
I know. I looked at the thing and it said it was closed, but I've been out there pretty late too.
Yeah. But that's definitely something that I've learned too. Like, I always told my parents I loved them and stuff, but I will not end a phone call without saying I love you.
Not
Even
anymore.
to some of my friends, dude. Like,
no, same.
Like Jack Fields, Connor, like these dudes that are just my homies.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, love you, bro. And they're
Exactly.
like, well, they say love you too. But some of my friends from college, they'd be like, wait,
They don't get
wait,
it.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
no. But
I don't care what people think. I'm like, love you.
yeah, exactly. Because if that's the last time we talk,
Exactly.
dude. Because I remember the night I dropped off Kyle. I talked about this in episode 1. If you would have told me that was the last time I'd ever see him, not a single clue clue it would have been. You know,
You make the night last forever.
exactly. And I had no idea.
Yeah.
I wish I could have said, love you, bro.
No, there was no signs either. You could have told me that, and I would have been like, what are you talking about?
Even like knowing what I know now about mental health, I feel like any sign that I could think of is really a stretch.
Yes.
It's like it's not legit. It's like
No.
I'm really digging for something,
Yes.
you know?
Like my brother Ryan, because they were pretty close. We saw play like Call of Duty and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But they were pretty close, and he said that week before the weekend, he was playing basketball with him at the rec, and Kyle was so smiley all the time. He was so smiley in his little laugh. But he said that he was being so like happy and like fun with Ryan and giggling and laughing and smiling and whatnot. And Ryan was like, "You could have never told me that. You could have never ever told me that." And I'd be like, "You're wrong. Like that.
Exactly.
No way. This kid right here is so sad right now,
dude." And we have no clue. This is everybody watching. You have no clue what people are going through. Bro. Literally,
They
you
could
see
look
the
like
surface.
the happiest people in the world.
Exactly.
And you never know.
So that's, again, we just have to spread love to everybody. That is a great challenge. Go tell everybody in your family, everybody that you love.
Yes.
Tell them you love them. Because
If you love them, tell them.
Exactly. And because you don't want it to be too late. You know, I wish I could have told Kyle. We weren't like that.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
we're friends. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna love you, bro. Like
yeah,
what?
exactly.
But thinking back, I wish I would have.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Because now it's too late. So just
That's what I always wish.
exactly. Don't wait till it's too late. And don't wait till it's too late to start spreading love to people too.
Yeah.
Like, for
Spread
real.
love to everyone, even a stranger.
Exactly.
Tell them you like their shirt or something.
Exactly. So is there any last things you want to get into? I mean,
I don't know. Is there any last things you want to get into?
there's a lot, but I still have like 15 episodes. I don't want to just talk about everything like 15
yeah,
times.
true.
But, oh man, I just want to say I'm proud of you, Lauren. This
Thank
is
you.
so
Thank
fire.
you.
I'm so glad to finally get you involved in something like this.
I know. I love this.
This is
This
great.
is fun. I like this.
Well, you're honestly part of the Underwater FlyZone team, you know. I mean, you're
you.
on the poster twice.
3 times with Macy right there.
Oh my goodness, 3 times. She's like half of the. I'm on it, I think 6 times. So you're like halfway there to be an owner. So, no, shout out to Lauren. I mean, you killed it.
I want to say something.
Okay,
No, you say it.
they could hear you.
So, can they really?
Macy.
So, Lauren, this is just my last thing. I can't hear in there. But what was your favorite memory with Kyle?
Oh, this is a good question.
That is a good question.
Oh my gosh, I have so many. Well, I have 2. So one time, this one's just so funny, and anytime I think of him, this is like the funniest thing I can think of. One time, maybe I have 3 things.
Okay, do it.
One time we were at dinner, and Kyle hated vegetables.
Yeah.
Something about like if anything was like green on his plate, he wouldn't eat it. So one time we had this asparagus, and it was like bacon wrapped, and my dad would always get like kind of mad at him because he would never eat the asparagus. He would literally just get like 3 things of it and take all the bacon off and eat it.
Oh my goodness.
But at the same dinner that happened, but I think it was like Lauren or I don't know, but they were like, I dare you to snort this pepper.
Oh my goodness,
So-
he would do stuff like that all the
He
time,
got
bro.
pepper and he like snorted it, and he was like
Oh
he
my
couldn't see. It was so funny. We're all dying laughing, crying. It was so funny. That's like all I think about whenever, because he was just like so I dare you to snort this, okay? And
Yeah,
then he did it.
dude, that
He
is
did not
totally
care.
Kyle, bro.
He did not care at all.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
Me and Carson talk about like what would he be like today if he was still here.
Probably still funny.
Yeah,
He'd
probably
He'd be
crazy.
such a jokester.
His 21st birthday would be
Yes, it'd be
nuts.
insane. I think about like what he would look like all the time.
Yeah.
Like how he was tall.
He
He was gonna be
was.
tall.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was gonna grow
Yeah,
because he was already tall in 8th
How
grade.
would he have looked, bro? Watch him just been like the finest. Like he's the friend that everyone's like, hey, can I get Connor, can I get Kyle's snap?
You can see who he thinks is fine.
Yeah, Connor, you're fine, bro. After he shaved his head, I mean,
He's
shoot.
a stud. He's a
But
stud.
no, like, hey, can I get Kyle's snap? Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine? Hey, before you get into the last 2, you want to switch that real quick? I really just said Connor, bro. Is it going?
Is that what usually happens or something?
It is. That's why I said it. People are like,
He's
yo,
that
can I-
friend.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. He is. When he gets out of the hospital too, he's gonna be on a whole new level.
Yeah.
bro. Anyways,
too.
what are the other two?
Oh.
I got
Sorry.
one. I'll share one.
Yeah, you go.
Oh my goodness. I can't share the one I was gonna say. Okay, one thing that we would always do, we would just play Hot Wheels in the basement all the
Yeah.
time with Conlon too. We would do like a draft of Hot Wheels and then go down this
they would
racetrack.
talk about that.
Dude, it was a thing. Like, and we were
they
in
ate
like,
that up.
dude, they were in 8th grade. Like we were pretty old. I was a sophomore in high school. We're playing
Yeah.
with toys. Like our sleepovers were like playing with toys.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Nerf gun fights. All
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
all the time.
He
bro.
had his whole chest of toys that we would get the Nerf gun fights, and whenever the parents would leave, we would go around the house, turn all the lights off, and we would just like shoot each other.
Dude.
We'd like play. I don't even know. We played like this game called Michael Myers. We made it
Oh
up.
really?
And one person would like be like the shooter, and you like had to hide. And if they found you, they would. you
Dude,
would
that's the
just
same game we played, but we called it something else. I don't
Wolf.
remember. Yeah,
Wolf.
yeah,
Wolf
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
so fun.
Dude,
Out in the neighborhood in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
I
goodness.
forgot
All right.
about Wolf.
So what's another one? What's another one?
I can't think.
Dude, what I'm feeling sad right now is I used to have so many memories on deck. I don't have so
Yeah,
many
I
on
have to
deck
pull
right now.
them. I have to get them out.
Yeah, like they used to just be on the top of my head, but now
Yeah.
it's like 7 years later. It's like it's kind of sad. That's kind of crazy to think
I
about.
know. One
But-
time, him and on Halloween, him and Colin dressed up as French fries and a burger.
Yeah. There's a picture of all 4 of us together.
Yes.
Dude. Yeah, I
That
remember
was
that.
so funny.
That was
So random. They
great.
didn't know what to do, and so they pulled French fries and a burger out of the closet and they painted their faces.
No, that's legendary. That's actually legendary. Oh my goodness. Gosh, I had so many good memories. A lot of them, like, so at wiffle ball before games, we'd all get in a huddle. I'd say, all right, this team's playing this team, this team's playing this team, all this stuff. And I'd be like, all right, we all have to go around the circle and share one Kyle memory. We'd do it every week. And dude, I had a new one for every single week, but I'm telling you, most of the ones I'm thinking of, I'm not about to be saying on the
They're all
pod.
funny though.
Exactly.
Like he was actually funny.
Yeah, join the Instagram live. Maybe one time I'll do an Instagram live just telling like horrible, well, amazing stories that I'll never say.
Amazing. Yeah.
Literally, no, that's so funny.
They're all funny. Every single memory I can think of. I can't ever think of a bad memory. Ever.
No,
I remember one time Amy got mad at me and Kyle because we were like playing this game. What was it called?
Ninja.
Yes, we were
Jinx.
playing Ninja, and we were like really getting into it by the kitchen table, and we like knocked something over. It was
Oh,
yeah.
that is so good. Dude.
That game was so fun. He taught us all of your guys' games.
Really?
Yeah, like Wolf, Ninja, all of those.
Ghost in the Graveyard was so fun, dude.
And the trampoline.
No, well, Ghost in the Graveyard, I don't know if you guys ever got to, there had to be like 15 people for
Yeah.
it. We would go outside and like, how'd it work? Everyone had to hide and there was one finder, and if you tagged somebody, they joined you, and then
Oh
last
yeah,
person
kind of like
standing.
sardines.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like at night, and Kyle would always show up in like some like camo. He'd get way too into games. And he'd like be hiding under a freaking bush, like camoed out. It's like, bro, no one's gonna find, like, you're gonna be there for like 3 hours.
He would get
Yeah.
decked out.
He would, and oh my goodness. One thing he had for wiffle ball, he had 27 pitches. It's like, bro, you need like 3. But he literally, like, to this day, I remember I didn't have a fastball. He showed me a fastball, and like I used Kyle's fastball. And there's like all these pitches throughout the league. We all use different pitches, and it's like, where'd you learn that? Oh, Kyle taught me.
Yeah.
It. Like to this day,
No, he
literally,
did.
and he
I
knew all
remember-
these pitches.
I remember Colin would come home and be like, Kyle did so good at pitching.
Dude, he was a legend. 11-0 as a
He
closer.
was.
Man,
He was good.
yeah, he was a dog. He was a dog. He was my dog. I drafted him. He was a player for my team. You already know. But all right, guys, this was fire. 53 minutes, dude.
That's
You
insane.
if you were nervous, just remember this. You just came on here and went 53 minutes,
Yapped.
and it was 53-minute yap sesh. I'm like, this is amazing though.
Yeah, it was fun. It went by really fast.
It did. It did. All right. Hey, shout out to everybody who listened all the way through episode 4. We're going to wrap it up, sadly. It's so sad when you look forward to something and then it ends.
And
It's
yeah,
like,
and it's like, wow.
but the blessing is that now you're getting more comfortable and you're going to be back
And
home.
we do a girls episode.
You already know, dude. That's going to be so fire. You know, so we have the dating season coming up, and then after that it's going to be strictly like a whole summer straight of godly testimony episodes. So
It's my favorite stuff to talk about, really.
hey, then we're gonna get lit on that one then. All right, hey, shout out to everybody who's still listening. Make sure to leave that comment and say I love you. You say it. Tell them what they
Yeah,
gotta
tell
do.
everyone you love that you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Get on that phone call.
Yeah.
Don't just text. Give them a little phone call.
Let them hear your voice.
You already know. But all right, love you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Lauren, dab me up. That was
My hands are kind of sweaty.
Oh yeah, hey, me too. Me too.
Nervous.
Killed it. All right, love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.